Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Heti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya 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 Giri Govardhan Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Jaya Prabhupada Jai Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada Shri Nitai Satsindari Ki Jai Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Jai Hare Krishna. Welcome Amit Prakash. Are you well, Amit? You can hear me?
Yes, Gauranga, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. And you can hear me
Okay, excellent.
hopefully also well?
Yes.
That's good. Okay, we got you double.
Yes, 1 minute ago, and then I'll come out. I'll come out to the other one.
Okay, one in, one out. Okay. What are we talking about tonight, Amit? Amit, what we talking? What verse of Bhagavad Gita? Are you still reading the Veda book? Amit, you're muted.
It is very good.
Yes, you still. Are you not finished with the Veda?
I've read it once already, but I go back and reading it again because
Okay, good, good, helpful, wonderful book. What Bhagavad Gita verse?
the writer of the Veda is a very good writer, a very good, very well written.
Okay, yes, because it's all taken from Srila Prabhupada. That's why. Do you have a verse in mind, Amit?
I'm just looking for one now. It's like
Which chapter?
I'm just looking for one.
Okay.
Unless there is a verse that you want to look at, we don't mind. It's like otherwise we are always looking at the same verses, I guess.
No, we're not looking at the same verses. Last time we looked at 5:12.
5:12.
Last time.
Yeah, did I choose that? I think I might have chosen that.
So, what can we look at?
I'm looking for one as well.
Okay.
I think the chapters I read recently didn't have any really quotes to Gita. Sometimes they have quotes and sometimes they don't.
Okay, let's have a look on my. Okay, let's look at 2:12.
After that, 1873.
1873. Okay. Let's see what we got. Bhagavad Gita. (1873). Yes, why not? Let's share the screen. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Amit, Sanskrit.
Arjuna
Uvacha.
Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha. Nasto Maho Smritir Labda.
Mhm.
Vat Prasatan Prasadan Maya Ita. Tito Simigata Sandeha Parisya Vashanam Tarva.
Tava.
Tava.
There's no R. Tarva. Tava. Vachanam. Yes, very nice, sir. Smin. Stito Sme. Stito Sme. Gata Sandeha. Nice, nice. Okay. Let's look at translation, please.
Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I regain my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instruction.
Very important verse, sir. 18th chapter. Purport.
The constitutional position of living entity represented by Arjuna is that he has to act according to the order of the Supreme Lord. He is meant for self-discipline. Self-discipline. Yeah. He's meant for self-discipline. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the actual position of the living entity is that of eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Forgetting this principle, the living entity becomes conditioned by material nature. But in serving the Supreme Lord, he becomes the liberated servant of God. The living entity's constitutional position is to be servitor. He has to serve either the illusory Maya or the Supreme Lord. If he serves the Supreme Lord, he is in his normal condition. But if he prefers to serve the illusory external energy, then certainly he will be in bondage. In illusion, the living entity is serving in this material world. He is bound by his lust and desires, yet he thinks of himself as a master of the world. This is called illusion. When a person is liberated by his illusion, when a person is liberated, his illusion is over, and he voluntarily surrenders onto the Supreme to act according to his desires.
Oh, one moment. Something happened here. Moment. Okay, carry on. The last illusion.
The last illusion, the last illusion, the last snare of Maya to trap the living entity is the proposition that he is God. The living entity thinks that he is no longer a conditioned soul, but God. He is so unintelligent that he does not think that if he were God, then how could he be in doubt? That he does not consider. But that is the last snare of illusion. Actually, to become free from the illusory energy is to understand Krishna, the Supreme Person of the Godhead, and to agree to act according to his order. The word moha is very important in this verse. Moha refers to that which is opposed to knowledge. Actual real knowledge is the understanding that every living entity, that every living being is internally a servitor of the Lord. But instead of thinking oneself in that position, the living entity thinks that he is not a servant, that he is the master of his material world, or he wants to lord it over the material nature. That is his illusion. This illusion can be overcome by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of pure devotee. When the illusion is over, one agrees to act in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is acting according to Krishna's order. A conditional soul, illusioned by the external energy of matter, does not know the Supreme Lord is the Master, who is full of knowledge and who is the proprietor of everything. Whatever he desires, he can bestow upon his devotee. He is the friend of everyone, and he is especially inclined to his devotee. He is the controller of this material nature and of all living entities. He is the controller of this material energy nature. He is the friend of everyone, and he is especially inclined to his devotee. He is the controller of this material nature and of all living entities. He is the controller of inexhaustible time and is full of opulence and all his potencies. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can even give himself to the devotee. One who does not know him is under the spell of illusion. He does not become a devotee by the servitor of Maya. Arjuna, however, after hearing Bhagavad Gītā from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, became free from all illusion. He could understand that Krishna was not only his friend, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he understood Krishna factually. So, to study Bhagavad Gītā is to understand Krishna factually. When a person is in full knowledge, he naturally surrenders to Krishna. And Arjuna understood that it was Krishna's plan to reduce the unnecessary increase of population. He agreed to fight according to Krishna's desire. He again took up a weapon, his arrows and bow, to fight under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Jai Hare Krishna. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Okay, so translation again. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instructions." So what we hear in this verse, of course, that's all basic philosophy. Basic philosophy, very straightforward, the whole philosophy of Bhagavad Gītā, the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness. First of all, Arjuna addressed Krishna, "My dear Krishna." We can also address Krishna like this, because let's not forget, Arjuna is a friend, and Srila Prabhupada is stressing that in the purport also. Arjuna is a friend. Unless one becomes a friend of Krishna, one cannot really be a devotee. Of course, there is a stage below the friend. One can be a devotee in a neutral relationship. We have spoken about that. A neutral relationship means awe and reverence and appreciating the opulences of the Lord. That's a Shanta rasa, a neutral state of affairs. But Arjuna is above the Shanta rasa. It is Sakya rasa. There's a different rasa, so we could say mellows, which we can relate with Krishna, and Krishna will relate accordingly with us in that mellow too. So friendship is a very elevated mellow. Krishna is our friend, we are his friend. Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. Krishna is a friend of every living entity. Krishna wants to be our friend. He wants to relate with us in friendship. Not only God is great, like God is certainly great, but he is also beyond. God is great, God is almighty, God is the master. Yes, there is of course a Dasya Ras, master and servant, which is above the Shanta, neutrality, relationship. Not really. Neutrality is not really a relationship there. It's just in Vrindavan, the trees, the rocks, the stones, they're all in this neutrality. They don't have a particular. They can also act, of course, in dasya, in servitude, with friendship. So Arjuna is a friend. He always was a friend. He's an eternal friend of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is saying we should also become friend with Krishna. Intimate friend. That's nice. Which religion in the world you find that one can become an intimate friend with God? Generally, the aspect of God is great, and we're kneeling down in front of God and we offer prayers. Yes, that is prevalent. But friendship, that is very rarely found. But here Arjuna, he is in friendship. Therefore he says, not, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not addressing Krishna like this. Arjuna addressing Krishna, my dear Krishna. Welcome, Jayanti Bhai. My dear Krishna. O infallible one. That is a little bit more in that Shanta Ras, infallible Krishna. Yes, Krishna is certainly infallible. So Arjuna addressing him as both. My dear Krishna, very friendly address, like we would address someone. Oh, my dear Amit, how are you? Oh, infallible one. So then he says, my illusion is now gone. This is the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gītā. After Krishna has spoken the entire Gita, which took not more than 30 minutes on the battlefield. It takes us much more longer because the purports are long. But even without the purpose, if we read entire Bhagavad Gita, it takes us 4 hours. So, after having spoken the entire Gita, and Arjuna had ample of opportunity to ask questions. For our sake, Arjuna plays the role of an ordinary living entity. For our sake, Arjuna is not an ordinary living entity. Arjuna is a liberated, eternal associate. Is eternally a friend, an associate with Krishna. Wherever Krishna performs his pastimes of enacting the Mahabharata, in which planet, in which universe, Arjuna is always there. Always, again and again and again. And the Bhagavad Gita is spoken each time. Once Bhagavad Gita is spoken 5,000 years ago, then Krishna speaks it somewhere else. And of course we know Krishna spoke it to the sun god at the beginning of creation millions of years ago. That was the first. And then Vivaswan. Then it came down to Manu, Ikshvaku, and it came down in the human society. First it was spoken to the Kshatriyas. Surya, Vivaswan, is a Kshatriya. So Bhagavad Gītā was needed to be understood by the Kshatriya, by the rulers of the kingdom. So aristocracy, so to speak. Now, after having spoken the entire Bhagavad Gītā, and Arjuna had questioned Krishna on various topics, then suddenly he has regained his memory by Krishna's mercy. So what does that mean? He has regained his memory. It's Krishna consciousness. He has awakened his Krishna consciousness. So that proves a philosophical point. We are all Krishna conscious living entities, but we have forgotten due to identification with his material energy, due to identification with the body. That's the problem. We think we are this body, and we think we are belonging to a particular family, to a particular nation, to a particular community, to a particular ethnic grouping, to a particular religion. So these are false identifications. False. We have created them. We recently spoke about the sunshine. We are spiritual particles. But if these spiritual particles, these quantum particles in the sunshine, if they think I am American sunshine, I am Indian sunshine, I'm English sunshine, then that is quite not appropriate. Amrita Radhe Mataji, welcome. So, of course, the sunshine is neither Indian, nor American, nor French, nor African. It's just sunshine. It's Krishna's sunshine. It's the sunshine from the sun. So we are, by nature, again, very basic philosophical understanding. We are eternal part. We are this quantum part and particles of Krishna. We are Krishna's sunshine, Krishna's quantum particles. That we are. So Arjuna says in this verse, now, after all the instruction of Bhagavad Gītā, he has regained his memory. If we regain our memories, that means not that a new position has been achieved. We just have forgotten. Forgotten. Again, Arjuna plays a part of an ordinary living entity. We have forgotten. We are Krishna's part and parcels. Krishna's sunshine, we are. And let's not forget why I'm saying sunshine. Because the soul is described to be brighter than 10,000 suns. That's the power of the soul. Naturally, we have the power of the atom, and the atomic bomb is so powerful. So much devastation. So the soul is even more powerful. It's a spiritual particle. The atom is just a material particle. We are spiritual particle. Brighter than 10,000 suns. That is way beyond an atomic bomb. 10,000 suns. An atomic bomb doesn't even have the power of one sun. Even if it's a hydrogen bomb, a fusion bomb, more powerful than when we split the atom. But the soul, 10,000 suns, just to give us some idea. So we just have forgotten. And Arjuna played that part. He said, I have forgotten. I'm your eternal servant. And by having forgotten that I'm your eternal servant, I thought I'm servant of my family. of my society. Therefore, I decline to fight. You ask me to fight, O Krishna. I said, I cannot fight. These are my family. These are my relatives. My this, my that, my this, my society, friendship, and love. False identification. It's just not true. We are Krishna's family. So Arjuna has forgotten who he really is. Self-realization. The whole Bhagavad Gītā is about self-realization, teaching Arjuna, who are you? And in that way, teaching us, who are we? Because generally you ask someone, who are you? Oh, I'm Mr. So-and-so. I don't know, who are you? Oh, I'm a doctor. No, I mean, who are you? I'm a family man. I'm English. I'm belonging to this community, to this country. I'm a human. I belong to the human race. That's still not enough. We are eternal servants of Krishna. That's the answer. Who are you? That is self-realization. We have to understand that not only theoretically, that we understand theoretically, if someone says, who are you? In your basic nature, I'm eternal part and parcel of God, eternal servant of God. Yes, theoretically, that is not so difficult to accept. Some don't accept her. They will not surrender. No, I'm not servant of God. I'm the master of this, of my house, of my home, of my family. I want to become master of the country. I want to become president of the country. I want to be on top. Servant, nobody wants to become a servant. A servant is the lowest. Okay, we employ some servant. He is cleaning the house and washing the pots. In India, many families, higher families, they have servants. There is quite a nice relationship between the master and the servants. And the servants are maintained by the master. So everybody wants to become master, servant. I'm cleaning, I'm washing, nobody wants to. I'm a street sweeper. Nobody wants to do that. I'm servant of the people. I'm in the government. But even the government, they don't understand. The government is there to serve the people. No. After once the election is over, then they're becoming master. Well, now we can enjoy. We are the master over the people. We have all the resources. We can do whatever we like. So Arjuna has regained his memory, his real position. I'm eternal servant of my dear friend Krishna. And how he has regained his memory? By your mercy, he says. Yes, by Krishna's mercy. That's an important point. How can we regain our memory? How can we remember who we really are? It needs someone who's reminding us by that someone's mercy. And that someone is a spiritual master. Either a spiritual master who is physically present or a spiritual master who is not physically present. Srila Prabhupada is a spiritual master who is not physically present. Physically present, Srila Prabhupada left our mundane vision in 1977. So some 40 years back. But he is nonetheless present in every word of his Bhaktivedanta purpose. There is Srila Prabhupada. The form of Srila Prabhupada as instruction. We call that Vani. And the physical presence of the spiritual master, we call it Vapu. And the Vani is superior to the Vapu, according to Srila Prabhupada. Why? Srila Prabhupada on many, many occasions he says physical presence is not important. because it's also inferior. Because physical presence can be appreciated for some years and then the physical body disappears. Everybody's physical body. And a very strong point we should note to the deepest understanding. Srila Prabhupada says, this present body you have, you will never ever again have this body again. Once this body is gone, it is gone for eternity. This particular body will be gone forever. Other bodies are there, but this body we have right now, which we love, everybody has to admit, I love my body. Otherwise we would not nicely take care of it, looking in the mirror. Even if we have only a few hairs left, we arrange them nicely. We make sure this body is looking nice, acceptable to other people, attractive if possible. Even if we are old and unattractive, we still try to make this body as attractive as possible. So, still, we love that body. Why? Why we love this body? Two reasons. Because we have been living in this body for a long time. Not a long time. 60, 70, 80 years is not a long time. Time is passing by so quickly. The days are passing by. It's Wednesday. It was just Wednesday a short time ago, last week. And before that, it was just Wednesday another week. So 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks are gone. A month is gone. We just had winter. Now we are in spring, summer is coming. And a few months of summer, then we'll be back in autumn. Before we know summer, we're looking forward. When will the summer come? Okay, the summer is here. Before you know, the leaves are falling and the autumn is here. And then the next winter is here. And by that cycle going around and around, a year is gone. 2 years are gone. 5, 10, 50 years. 50 years passing in no time. Sometimes I ask myself, 74 years, where has it gone? It was just in an instant. I remember all my youth and childhood, all memories, but it's all gone. And the body has changed drastically, and it will change further. So that's why, because we relatively long we have been living in this body becomes very dear to us. That's one reason. The second reason is that we identify with the body. We just identify. Due to lack of spiritual understanding and due to lack of spiritual practices. If we practice as devotees, regularly we chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, regularly we hearing, regularly we associating with devotees, sadhu sangha, like tonight, and regularly we performing various spiritual practices and offering our foodstuff and eating prasadam, and all of that will help us to regain our memory. Like Arjuna, I have regained my memory by your mercy. Though we said the spiritual master is a mercy incarnation of Krishna. Actually, the spiritual master is a mercy incarnation of Srimati Radharani. Because she is so kind, she brings the conditioned souls to the lotus feet of Krishna, to please Krishna. And Krishna is pleased. My forgotten son, he has forgotten me. I haven't forgotten him. Forgotten son from the standpoint of the son. Krishna can never forget. the billions, innumerable souls. Krishna is never forgetting some. But we forgetting Krishna. So if someone brings the lost son back to his father, he is the greatest benefactor. The father will be very pleased. You have brought my son back. My son has left me long time ago, and he was loitering in this material world. And now, you kind soul, you have brought my son back. I'm happy, and he is also happy. So that person who brought the son back, well, is Srimati Radharani's service, and to please Krishna in that way. And that is an embodiment of the spiritual master, to bring the lost souls back to Krishna's lotus feet, to enlighten the lost souls of their true identity. That's all what it is. Krishna plays the role of the spiritual master, and Arjuna plays the role of the disciple. Already in the second chapter, Arjuna says, Karpanya dosho pahatasvapava. Now I am your disciple, a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. At that point, Arjuna is not anymore friend to Krishna as previously, but from that point onwards, Arjuna has accepted Krishna as his spiritual master. It's a Vedic instruction. Everybody must have a spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada often says, you may have this spiritual master or that spiritual master. That may be there, but you have to be under spiritual guidance. One must accept the spiritual master if one is to fulfill the mission of the human life. Essential. Spiritual master must be there. Of course, as we just have mentioned, the Vani, the instruction form of the spiritual master, that is none different from the Vapu form, the physical form of the spiritual master, the physical body we can see, even touch his lotus feet if we are very fortunate. Of course, for us, conditioned soul, it is very difficult to relate to the Vani. Also, we hear the Vani, we're reading Bhagavad Gītā. We still don't, or it seems to be hard to realize these words we're reading here tonight, or at so many other times. This is Srila Prabhupada as much as when Srila Prabhupada has been physically present. Sometimes devotees are saying, oh, you are so fortunate you met Srila Prabhupada. You're meeting Srila Prabhupada too. Every day we open the Bhagavad Gītā, we're meeting Srila Prabhupada. But we are so much in bodily consciousness. We are so much used to only see a person or really experience a person once we see their physical presence. Therefore, we have family reunions and get-togethers with friends. But even thinking of a family member is quite as powerful. Love will rise in our heart. Take a simple example. The mother, every mother, Amrita Radhe will attest that, if she sees her little child's shoes on the floor, she gets feelings of love within the heart. Feelings of love. Well, just by seeing the shoe. It's not the child. It's not little Teja she's seeing. She's seeing his shoes only. And Bharat, let's not forget, he was ruling the kingdom, Lord Ram represented by his padukas, by his shoes. So if a mother can remember her wonderful little Lala, her child, by seeing his shoes, So there's a relationship just by seeing the shoes. Surely we can remember Srila Prabhupada just by hearing his purport on Bhagavad Gītā. So we have to come to that understanding. Vani and Vapu, they're two different manifestations, but the Vani, the instruction, are as powerful, representing Srila Prabhupada. Of course, there are limitations. We cannot see Srila Prabhupada's smiling face. Actually, we can. If we remember Srila Prabhupada, we immediately seeing when he is smiling, when he is very seriously looking, when he is laughing. Srila Prabhupada has been described by devotees, and we have seen videos also, and we have heard. When Srila Prabhupada was laughing, his whole body was shaking. It was a thunder of laughing. When someone told a joke, for instance, or he told a joke, Srila Prabhupada also told jokes. There was one occasion when someone was really attracted to Krishna consciousness, and they read some of the books and they really understood Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. He understood that. He's not a devotee. Yes, Lord Chaitanya is a devotee of Krishna, but he is actually his real identity, which was not so easy to discern, which was a bit hidden. Therefore, it is sometimes Lord Chaitanya is sometimes called the hidden avatar. But there's reference in the Bhagavatam of Lord Chaitanya. Golden form, Gauranga, golden. So, that devotee, he did not know, he heard about Srila Prabhupada. He wanted to become a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Right? He understood that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He understood from Srila Prabhupada's writings, from teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, once he met the devotees, and there was Srila Prabhupada, and he did not understand who Srila Prabhupada was. It wasn't just a few devotees there. So it wasn't obvious. The person who he was looking for was right in front of him. So they started talking, and he did not know he's talking to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada said, so what do you think about Lord Chaitanya? And he said, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. And then Srila Prabhupada said to him, no, he's a devotee. So that kind of joking, playing. Well, he did not reveal he was joking. He was just arguing. He said, no, he's not Krishna. He is a devotee of Krishna. And that man became, no, he is Krishna. And the argument was going on. He is Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, he's a devotee of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada enjoyed that exchange greatly until it became clear, he revealed himself. Later on, he talked to the devotees. That he really enjoyed that argument with the devotee, who was so convinced that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, and Srila Prabhupada tried to persuade him otherwise. So sometimes the spiritual master enjoys this kind of exchanges. Krishna also enjoyed that exchange with Arjuna. Arjuna asking so many questions. Asking questions is a sign of intelligence. We have mentioned that many times. I'm not saying, Srila Prabhupada is saying. I'm not saying anything what Srila Prabhupada is not saying. So, asking questions is a sign of intelligence. And sometimes someone is asking really a bad question. Someone was arguing from the impersonal point of view. And Srila Prabhupada later on he said, these people are so, sarcastically he said, people are so fallen nowadays, they cannot even ask a good question. Srila Prabhupada enjoyed very much when someone asked a good question. Real question. Not artificially asking a question. A real question. A practical question. Not kind of theoretical question. What is the relationship of Lord Balaram and Radharani? New devotee was asking this question. Srila Prabhupada blasted him. Oh, what are you asking? Such a question. You don't understand anything. It was a theoretical question. He tried to be very clever. Oh, I shall ask a very clever question. No, Srila Prabhupada did not appreciate this kind of question. Practical question, how we can advance in Krishna consciousness. So here, there's a verse. Arjuna admitted, after all the instruction of Bhagavad Gītā, he has regained his memory. He understood who he is. Not a family man, not a kshatriya, not the husband of Draupadi, not the son of Kunti, not belonging to the Kuru clan. All of that. Yes, that is true, but at the end of the Gita he understood that beyond all of that, he is an eternal servant of Krishna, who he first thought of as his dear friend. But later on he accepted. This Krishna, my dear friend, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What's that verse? Amrita Radhe Mataji, where Arjuna confirms that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he quotes even Asita and Devala, other authorities, to confirm. Do you remember that verse, Amrita Radhe Mataji?
No, Prabhu, I remember that Narada, Devala, Asita, and I think Vyasa was quoted to confirm that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
What's the Sanskrit?
Rituman Vihari Prabhu will help you, Prabhu, on that. He's searching, he's saying.
What's that Sanskrit? Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Idam Bhavam. Param Brahma Param Dhamma. You are the Supreme Brahman. He says to Arjuna, my dear, to Krishna. Arjuna says that. He confirms the Supreme Brahman is of course the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You're the Supreme Brahman, Param Brahma. Sometimes people, at the beginning, they're more attracted to the impersonal feature. They understand Brahman, everything is Brahman. And said don't even, if they are contaminated with impersonal philosophy, they don't even distinguish between Brahman and Param Brahman. No, it's all one. Yes, it's all one in quality, but only that. In quantity, it is not all one. Krishna is inconceivably big, and we are tiny, tiny, small. That's called Achintya Abheda Bheda Tattva. Bheda Abheda Tattva. Simultaneously one and different. Simultaneously one, by quality we are one with Krishna. We are Brahman and Krishna is Brahman. But by quantity, Krishna is Param Brahman. And we are Brahman. We are not Para Brahman. The highest Brahman. We are not. Therefore Arjuna says Param Brahman, Param Dhamma. You, Krishna, you are the supreme Brahman. So these things are going on. So then Arjuna, he says, I'm now firm and free from doubt. At the beginning, there were so many doubts. And before we are accepting a spiritual master, there may be so many doubts. But after having been trained in Krishna consciousness, we become free from doubt. What's the next step? If we are free from doubt, we have doubts, we have to address those doubts. We're asking our spiritual master, I have some doubt about this, and then he clarifies. And we have other doubts, and we're voicing that doubts and have it clarified by Guru. And so Arjuna says, I'm free from doubt. Now I'm prepared to act according to your instructions. What a completely turnaround of situation. Within half an hour. Half an hour ago, Arjuna was saying, my dear Krishna, my dear Govinda, I shall not fight. Because Arjuna said, drive this chariot in the midst of the armies, the battlefield formation, that I can see who wants to fight with me. He kind of knew that the Kauravas, under the leadership of Duryodhana, they wanted to fight. They wanted this war. They wanted to rob the Pandavas of the kingdom. They wanted to settle it in a war. But Arjuna wanted to know exactly who is there on the other side I have to fight with. And then when he saw all his relatives, his teacher and Dronacharya and Bhishma, and all his relatives and nephews and all his family members were on the other side, then due to a family attachment, due to having lost that memory of his true identity, being too much involved in family affairs. Not involved in family, there is no harm of being involved in family affairs as long as we don't forget who we really are. The family existed even after Arjuna understood his real position. The family existed then and the family existed before. But what has changed is that Arjuna, he refused to fight when he was in bodily consciousness. And once he had regained his memory, his true identity, then he could understand, I have to follow the instructions of Krishna, my spiritual master. Then by that time, in half an hour, he was free from doubt. And he was prepared to act according to Krishna's instructions. That's wanted. That is Krishna consciousness. We may have so many doubts, but we are lifted out by the instruction of the spiritual master. We are lifted out of our bodily consciousness, and we are understanding who we really are, and then we are ready to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. So that's a beautiful verse, of course. And Srila Prabhupada points out very clearly that the living entity is represented by Arjuna. Arjuna plays that part of an ordinary forgetful living entity who gets enlightened, who gets awakened to his true spiritual identity. And now he has understood he should act according to the order of the Supreme Lord. Self-discipline, Srila Prabhupada mentions here. Yes, we have to enact self-discipline. Very important. Nowadays, people don't want to take any self-discipline. Devotees take so much self-discipline. No meat, no fish, no eggs. That is a lot of self-discipline. No gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. Oh, how much self-discipline. chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. Oh, how difficult. Self-discipline. But we do it on the order of the spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya, explaining that the actual position of the living entity is eternal servant of Krishna. Shivara Svarupa Hoya Krishnera Nitya Das. Welcome back, Chandibai. Shivara Svarupa Hoya, it's a eternal duty, a position of the Jivara, to be Nitya Krishna Das, Nitya eternal Krishna Das servant. And we have two, as last week we mentioned, the same point comes up here again. We have two possibilities. We must serve. The small must serve the big. It's natural. The small can never become the big. Only illusion. The small pretends to be the big. But he's not. Krishna is a big. We are tiny, small, little spark. The little quantum particles in the sun, they suddenly imagine, oh, I'm the sun. No, you're not the sun. You're a tiny little quantum particle of the sunshine. That is our position. We should always remember that. Because if we think at any point I become the sun, then that is a big illusion. And that has consequences, of course, and pride and so many other things coming in. No, we are humble servants of Krishna. Tiny, small. This humility is ever so important. Even if we gain some knowledge, that's also important. We gain some knowledge from the spiritual master, from the Shastra. And if we are not mature enough, Srila Prabhupada says, little knowledge, not deep knowledge, that's different. But at the beginning, we have little knowledge, and we think we have become so big, so important. So Srila Prabhupada says, little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Why? Because we have little knowledge and our tendency to become proud, to become puffed up. Little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So we must always guard against not getting proud. Very important. Then our knowledge is completely spoiled. If we become proud. As explained in Bhagavad Gītā. Vinaya sampane brahmana gavihashtini. The humble sage sees with equal knowledge. We know that verse. A brahmana, a dog eater, an elephant. Equal knowledge. Generally the stress in this verse is on equal knowledge, which is of course important. Like in the verse of Brahma-Buddha Prasanatma. Equal, sees everybody on an equal platform. The liberated soul. So that's important. But the other point in that, what's that verse, Amrita Radhe Mataji? It's a Sanskrit.
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini.
Yeah.
Sunitva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha.
Welcome, Ridwan Prabhu. Vidya Vinaya. Vidya Vinaya. So, it's a humble sage. Right? A sage, a sadhu, a devotee by nature is humble. If a sadhu has lost the sage has lost his humility and becomes proud because of a little knowledge, therefore Srila Prabhupada says, little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And then Srila Prabhupada explains more. Because then the devotee with little knowledge and becomes proud and puffed up, he thinks he knows more than his spiritual master. eventually. That has happened. That has happened even at the time when Srila Prabhupada was present. So little knowledge, little Sanskrit knowledge, and certain devotee or devotees became proud. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya makes it so clear. Trinada pisu nichana darora pisa hishnuna amanina manadina kirtanya sadahare. To become more humble than the grass in the street, more tolerant than a tree, to give all respect to others without expecting any respect in return. And the conclusion, if that is our mentality, then we can chant Hare Krishna continuously. We have spoken so many times, and Srila Prabhupada speaks so many times, continuous chanting. But if we don't have that mentality of Trinada Pisu Nichana, we won't be able to continuously chant. The mind will not allow us. Only if we have adopted that mentality of Trinada Pisu Nichana, humility, tolerance, respectful to others, without expecting any respect in return, then only in that humble attitude we can chant the name of Krishna continuously. Otherwise the mind will not allow us. Impossible. So all these Shastric references are very important. So going back to Srila Prabhupada's purpose. He writes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the actual position of the living entity is that of eternal servant of the Lord. Forgetting this principle, forgetting that we are eternal servant of the Lord and we want to become master and we become proud, he becomes conditioned by material nature. As soon as pride is there, and we're forgetting the eternal servant of the Lord and the eternal servant of the Vaishnavas also, it's even more advanced. Dasa, Anudasa, 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 servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, 100 times removed. Not I will become a direct servant of Krishna. No, how proud. What a proud proposition is that? And Krishna says, no. You want to serve me? You serve my pure devotee. So we have to humble ourselves. We have to accept the pure devotee as a spiritual master. Then we serve that spiritual master. So, as soon as we forget we are servitor of the Lord, we become servitor of Maya, servitor of the illusory energy. And then we become bound by lusty desires, we need to voluntarily surrender unto the Supreme and act according to his desire. So that is Srila Prabhupada's words here. Voluntarily surrender. Surrender, immediately we think of Sarvadhamma Parityaja, surrender unto me. Krishna says, through Guru. And then Srila Prabhupada speaks a bit about the last snare of Maya. We're trying to become free from the illusory energy. And the last, we have spoken about that previously, the last snare, the last trap of Maya is that we imagine, we think in our mind that we have become equal with Krishna. That's the last snare of Maya. That's a tiny little Brahman, although equal in quality, we have become equal in every respect with the Para-Brahman. No. There's always this distinction. The Brahman doesn't become the Para-Brahman at any stage. Not as the Mayavad philosophers and impersonalists try to say, when our illusion is gone, we realize we actually the Para-Brahman. We realize we actually God. So God has forgotten that he is God? Then he's not God. God never forgets he is God. He's always God. Krishna was always God from small childhood. He lifted Govardhan Hill. He didn't have to practice meditation and study the Vedanta to become God. No. Nobody can become God by meditation and yoga practice. We can only realize our relationship with God. That we can. So Srila Prabhupada writes, it's the last snare of Maya. That the living entity takes a position that he is God. The living entity thinks that he is no longer a conditioned soul, but God. How much pride must be there? Of course, the impersonalists or the Mayavadis, they don't say, I am God. Only I am God. Nobody else. I am God. That is a step too much. They don't do that. Some people do that. Some self-made avatars said, I'm God. I'm the only true God. But the Mayavadis say, put it in a more clever way. Yeah, I am God, yes. But you're also God. Everybody is God. So if we say, oh, everybody is God, that doesn't appear to be so assumptuous. Everybody is God. Oh, yes. But that makes me also God. So I always wanted to become God. So if I say, you are God, I am God, everybody is God, then I have finally become God. We want to become the controller, we want to become the master. And so finally, when we don't achieve all of that, then, okay, so I become God. Nobody can become God. God is always God. So that is the last snare of illusion. Once we don't fall into, as devotees, we don't generally fall into that illusion. Because it has been so much put into our consciousness by instructions that we are eternal servant of God. Once we have realized that and internalized that, we are eternal servants of Krishna. So two very quick answers. Someone asking, who is Krishna? Immediately the answer should come. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who are you? I'm an eternal servant, part and parcels of Krishna. That's it. Simple answer to the whole question about God and our position. And Srila Prabhupada carries on. Actually become free from the illusory energy is to understand Krishna. And not only understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to agree voluntarily to act according to his order. And that's what Arjuna did. Now I have regained my memory, who I'm really, I'm prepared to follow your orders. What was the order for Arjuna? To fight as a Kshatriya. Our order is different. What is our order? To preach, to enlighten others. Once we are awakened, enlightened, liberated, then we have to help others. Because nobody can help themselves. Only the liberated person, the enlightened person, the unbound person. A bound person cannot unbind someone else. Two people are bound by the hand and feet. They cannot help each other. One person has to be at least unbound, free, no shackles on his hands and legs. Then he can unbind another person. So that's our duty. Arjuna's duty was to fight and to kill all his enemies, to establish a righteous kingdom under Maharaj Yudhishthira. So Krishna is not asking us to do that. We are Kshatriyas. And it would be very difficult for us to physically fight with our family members, to kill our family members. It would be very difficult. It was very difficult for Arjuna. But for us, the order of the Lord is different. What is that verse? Rituan Prabhuji. Yara dekita hekara Krishna Upadesh.
Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh, mor aggai guru hoya taro ei desh.
Translation?
That Jare dekho, whoever you see, you tell that person my instructions. By my order, you become the spiritual master of that person. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh, mor aggai guru hoya, and you deliver this whole world.
Yes, that's our duty. Not to kill the whole army of the Kauravas. That was Krishna's duty, Arjuna's duty. We need to deliver the whole world. Well, if we cannot deliver the whole world, at least deliver those around us in various ways. So that's the order of Lord Chaitanya. Become Krishna conscious and make others Krishna conscious. Become a guru. Guru doesn't need to be a person sitting on the Vyasasan, holding a danda, being a sannyasi, having many disciples. That's not the only definition of guru. Guru is someone who is enlightening others about Krishna consciousness, helping others to understand who they really are. That is guru. So we have to come to that point of surrender, to agree to act according to Lord Chaitanya's order. Yada dekita hekara upadesha. So then Srila Prabhupada speaks, this illusion can be overcome by the mercy of the Lord and the mercy of a pure devotee. So that's already been explained. To become unbound, we need the mercy of a liberated soul, of a pure devotee, and the mercy of the Lord. Brahmanda Brahmidikona Bhagavan achieve Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lada Beach. By the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, we're receiving the Bhakti Lata, the seed of devotion within the heart. And we're receiving also instructions how to water that seed. Now it's May, it's planting time. Anybody who does a bit of gardening or some plants in a pot or tulsi, he knows that seed needs watering. That seed needs protection. That little plant, that creeper. We've spoken several times on where Lord Chaitanya says, I'm the gardener. And there are so many fruits. What are the fruits? Love of Godhead. So many fruits to distribute. I need some help. Of course, Lord Chaitanya doesn't need help. He's Krishna himself. But he wants to engage us in devotional service. So therefore he says, I need some help. How many fruits can I distribute myself? I need all your hands all the devotees to help me distribute this fruit of love of Godhead for the benefit of all. When that illusion is over, Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, one agrees to act in Krishna consciousness. And then Srila Prabhupada emphasizes also, again he's emphasizing, whatever Krishna desires he can bestow upon his devotees. He is a friend of everyone. As already mentioned, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. And he's especially inclined to his devotees. And so on and so on. At the end of his purport, when a person is in full knowledge, he has understood his position, Krishna's position, and how to develop this love of Godhead, then he naturally surrenders to Krishna. That's natural. We are in full knowledge. We understand Krishna's true position and our true position, then we surrender to Krishna. When Arjuna understood that it was Krishna's plan to reduce a unnecessary increase of population, demonic population, he agreed to fight according to Krishna's desire. What does it mean for us? When we understand that it is Lord Chaitanya's plan to spread this Krishna consciousness all over the world, then we agree to take on that responsibility and help Lord Chaitanya to awaken, enlighten, inspire others to take up Krishna consciousness. Okay? Any questions? Or any comments? Do mind asking questions is a sign of intelligence. Questions. At least one or two questions before we finish. Rituan, Amritarati Mataji. Question.
Prabhu, no question is coming to the mind, but
I think you're not intelligent.
Ritwan Vihari Prabhu is saying that means you're not intelligent. No, but I don't have a question. You have a question, Prabhu, today?
Rituan.
Like everything has been explained so nicely by you and by Srila Prabhupada's purports, and by giving so many examples. My personal realization is that because we have been hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gītā, reading Srila Prabhupada's books for quite some time, but still I believe that it's not, I mean the fact that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and we are not this body. To me, I feel that I think it's like more like a memorizing thing for me, and it takes a lot of time, and not just time. Maybe that's what I was asking. What does it take to incorporate that, as it like becomes like my original nature? Like the nature is when we realize that this is actually our nature, actually our what's that called?
Real nature, real position.
Yeah, nature. Yeah, that's Prabhupada uses specific word. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
What does it take? It certainly takes more than half an hour. Arjuna was very, very intelligent. He understood the whole thing in half an hour. Bhagavad Gītā, Srila Prabhupada explains, has taken half an hour for Krishna to speak, approximately. So it certainly takes us more than half an hour. It takes us half a lifetime. But then again, Srila Prabhupada says, that we have mentioned many times, 50 years is more than enough to become perfect in Krishna consciousness, to become fully Krishna conscious. So it takes some time. So what does it take? How to accelerate? We are not this body. We hear that all the time. We are not this body. But to realize we are not this body and we are not this mind also. We are not this mind. And I've mentioned many times, just when you lay down in the evening, just try to observe your mind. Distance yourself from the mind. We are not this mind. In the day, we may think we are this mind, we identify with the mind. But when the body is resting, it's a good opportunity we don't have to think much about the body. The body is just laying there, and hopefully no pains, no hunger, no thirst, and no indigestion. The body is just laying down there peacefully. So we are free to observe the mind. We are not the mind. So how to observe the mind? To just observe the thoughts. The mind is generating thought after thought after thought after thought. It's not I am thinking. Not I am thinking. The mind is thinking. I'm not thinking. I'm not the mind. How can I say I am thinking? The mind is thinking. If you can draw this distinction, the mind is thinking. This is business of the mind, to think, to generate so many imaginary scenarios and so many imaginary thoughts, some thoughts causing us anxiety and so many things. So at that time when we're laying down, just let's step back and observe. If that is at all possible, observe the thoughts. They're coming, they're arising in the mind, just like a fountain. The water is just going up in the sky, like a fountain. It's just arising from the river, from the lake, from the pond. So these thoughts are generated. If we can at all understand the mind is generating thoughts and I observing these thoughts, that's a great accomplishment, because we make a distance between I and the mind. We can observe the mind. So who are we? We are not the mind. We are the observer. We are consciousness. So we're getting closer to that. That realization we have to deepen in the daytime also, that we don't forget. In the daytime we think, oh, we are the mind, we are the body. So that helps to have that realization, I am the observer. I'm not the mind, I'm not the body. So therefore I'm eternal servant of Krishna. And if we act, that's the main point, if we act as eternal servant of Krishna by engaging in Krishna conscious duties, in full consciousness, we are a tiny little, Krishna's tiny little spark. And we are acting according to what Krishna wants us to do. Then that memory, what Arjuna achieved in half an hour, that memory will become stronger and stronger and stronger until the day will come we don't even forget who we really are. Amrita Radhamadaji, your return. Your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you for the nice answer, reply for that and explanation. Prabhu, can I ask another question? A practical
Yes.
thing that I have experienced. Like today, actually, like as you were mentioning, Arjun surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord and understood that whatever is the desire of the Lord, he should follow, as because he's a part and parcel and servant of Krishna. The thing is that we know these things, we hear these things, and we read Prabhupada books, and then we think that yes, I have to surrender. But when the time comes, the test comes. Sometimes today, what happened? I'm just like, no, just briefly, I'm just like explaining this thing. giving. I mean, actually, we were having some leak of our roof of the house, and then we wanted to hire some roof specialist to just look into it and see how this can be repaired. So one person came, one company from one company. He came and he told me that these are things that should be done. Tiles should be changes, this and that, and he gave me a quotation of 600 pounds. I said, whatever you have told me, you just leave it, put it in an email and send it to me for documentation. But he didn't do it. And then today when he came, he said that I have sent you a mail, but it bounced back. So would you want to do it? I said, fully trusting that person, I said, yes, I'll do it. I should have used my intelligence and said that please send me an email so that it can be documented. And then he just walked for an hour or so, 1.5 hours, did some cementing and other things, changed 5 tiles and went back. So later on, I thought that, yes, I have been duped. Basically, I asked some of my neighbors also, say that it could have been done much less, 300, 400, like the 300 pounds. So I've lost, I think I've, so what I thinking that then, the mind is split. I was thinking I should have used my intelligence again. I'm thinking that, okay, what has happened because this might be like Krishna wanted that, and I should be careful next time. But still that anxiety of losing, money still is like lingering inside me, and that is like taking my focus away from the things that I should do, or even from Krishna consciousness, maybe temporarily. So I can understand that this is not surrender. So how do we overcome these things?
Yes, first of all, this is a world of cheater and cheated. At every corner we are cheated. If we can avoid to be cheated in a big way, we're doing very well. Small cheatings are happening everywhere. But the main thing, if that happens, it's gone. It's over. You've been cheated. Okay, acknowledge I've been cheated. But forget it. What is the point of lamenting, oh, I have been cheated, and then that's in the past. It's gone. The present is different. Or except you want to take it up with a man and argue with him and take him to court, or that's a different story. But if you're not prepared to do that, let it go. Let it go. Acknowledge I've been cheated. I'm not the only one, and it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. Maybe next time a little bit more. We learn. Next time maybe I should have sent him away. Okay, come tomorrow, but in the meantime send me a quotation. That would have been really, but we are soft-hearted, and the situation, he was already here. And yes, but the main message is, let it go. Let it go. It's already gone. Why should we hold on to a situation, regretful, attached? Yes, we lost some money. It won't be the first time. Hard-earned money. Not our money. Not really even our money. Krishna is giving that money. Of course, we should make sure that we don't waste Krishna's money. But even from the logical point of view, what's the point of holding on to it and lamenting, right? Na shochati na kangshati. We have to come to that liberated platform. Brahma Buddha Prasanatma na shochati na kangshati. No lamentation, no hankering. Whatever happens. That was a small thing. Well, 300 pounds is not such a small thing, but it's still a small thing. What about if big calamity strikes? If we are already lamenting for the small things, then for the big things we will be in total lamentation and hopelessly. So, if something has happened, it is past. We don't want to pursue it. Let it go. That's my advice. Don't hold on to it because it has no purpose. There's no purpose. Likewise, with hankering, it has no purpose. We're hankering for something which we would like to achieve. Hankering is in the future. The future hasn't arrived. So what we have to do with the future? Nothing. Lamenting is the past. What we have to do with the past? The past is gone. All what is true is a present. When it's a present, let it go. As hard as it appears, but again, these things are also practiced. With two lessons to be learned. Let's try not to be cheated next time. And more important than that, let it go. Let it go. Why shall we carry? We carry that anxiety and lamentation in our mind, and our focus of Krishna is difficult when we're lamenting and when we're hankering. So that was Krishna's. Look at it from a philosophical point of view. You know very well the story of the poor man who wanted to go to the temple in South India and worshipping his Lord. So to achieve some money, he was so poor. Almost like Sudama Brahmin. He also went by pushing from his wife, go see Krishna. We have nothing. He can help us. So that man was pious, ready to go to the temple and do some little offering and pray for some material benefit. And there was a rich man also. He could not walk. Very rich. He had lots of gold and riches, and his servants carried him. He wanted to also pray to the same Lord. To be cured, to be able to walk again. And he was ready to offer not just a flower, he was ready to offer a bag full of gold coins, because he was rich. And the poor fellow, he could only pick a flower on the way. When the rich man took his baths just before going to the temple, they put him down and he put his bag with gold coins on the stairs of the ghat, and he went in the water, and the poor man was there, and he saw that gold coin, the bag there, and said, "Oh my Lord, you are so merciful. Even without going to the temple, you understand my prayers, and you have made an arrangement." And he grabbed that bag of gold coins and ran away, thinking the Lord has made this special arrangement for him. And the rich man, he was so much in anxiety. The gold coins, that was meant for the Lord to fulfill my prayers. And in so much anxiety, he jumped out of the basket and trying to catch the thief. But he couldn't. And then he was lamenting, "My dear Lord, I wanted to offer that gold to you and it got stolen. Why are you doing that to me?" Then Krishna says, "My dear rich man, you prayed for being able to walk. You see, now you can walk. You jumped out of the basket and you can walk. Your desire has been fulfilled. Why are you lamenting about the gold coin?" And the poor man, he also prayed to me for some riches. And so his desire got fulfilled, your desire got fulfilled. Krishna can do that. He can reconcile opposite desires. So the lesson for you, at least your roof got fixed. Hopefully it stays dry.
Yes, Prabhu, hopefully.
Okay, does that make any sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. That's all a good lesson for us. Let it go.
Prabhu, can I just add? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me? I don't
Yes.
think there's anybody I know that has not been
Cheated.
cheated. You know, so
Yes.
I've been cheated by builders. It's part of life. You know, it's how you learn. I look back and the things I paid for, which I should have not paid as much, and it's it's, everybody's happened. So, and it's horrible it happened, but it's happened to everybody. So don't think too much about it. I've known worse cases. I have known worse cases of people getting ripped off for money, where you're talking about thousands of pounds, and it's a very dangerous world out there, with all this scamming and everything. So just be, all the devotees, be very careful with what the scams and everything, but it's the way we learn. So don't think too much about it. I've been ripped off as well. So
nice advice.
Thank you, Amit Prabhu. Thank you.
Don't think too much about it. Now, after the fact it has happened, don't think too much about it. I would even say, don't think anymore about it. Let it go.
Yeah. 300 pounds is not much, And like you said, at least the roof got fixed, It happens to us all. It happens to all of us.
Yes.
Thank you for the assurance. Prabhu, just last one thing I wanted to ask Gauranga Prabhu, like regarding, because as I mentioned in the text, it's almost spring and summer is coming. So would you, all the devotees of Hare Krishna Center, Leicester, Amit Prabhu, Jayanti Prabhu, and others, Varsana Mataji, Ben Prabhu, all of them, Rashmi Mataji, would you come to Derby like one weekend, any Saturday or Sunday, whatever, and you can do the, the program here?
We would love to come. We would love to come. I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, I'm inviting Amit Prabhu, Jayanti Prabhu.
Yes, one.
Just send the invite out and then.
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
sure,
I think Sunday would be most practical.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Sunday afternoon, like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that would be good.
So
right. Yeah, Prabhu, maybe that Sunday after Nashmi Chaturdashi, we'll just I'll text you and I'll speak to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, and then and also I'll send an invite to Amit Prabhu and Jayanti Prabhu and everybody.
Yeah, Rashmi Mataji, yes.
Varsana Mataji. Bhagavati Mataji is not here in UK, is it?
No.
Okay,
she's back in Poland.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, that's good.
So let me know which Sunday, so I can look in my diaries that it's free. Most likely it is. And then we go ahead. Yes, we do it.
That's good.
Do you have an harmonium at home?
We have a synthesizer, not a harmonium, which Padmanabh plays.
That will do.
Yeah.
Nice sound.
Yeah, it's a Yamaha, a good one.
Yes, good. Okay.
Not the small ones, like full Yamaha one.
Okay, we have some kirtan. We can talk a little bit, and you prepare some prasad for the devotees.
Yes. Yeah, that would be good. We'll do that.
And more than that, you invite some of your friends and neighbors or something.
Yes.
So it actually becomes a bridging event.
Yes. That would be good. I'll invite some of the some friends and neighbors.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Here we stop on that note.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming here tonight.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See you on Saturday. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.